today of creating a video to get this thing started here. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, guys, welcome to episode 94 of the Drag Drive Repeat show presented by Summit Racing. Y'all, tonight, I know I say it every week, but it's going to be a great show. We were just talking with Dustyn Caudle in the back before the show started. We've got the Miles of Mayhem hosts on to talk about like past and future stuff. They just opened registration on Saturday. So I'm excited to have them back on. This will be the second time they've been on. And then, man, we've just got a ton of stuff that's coming up. We got a lot of sick week type prep stuff in the JWire Solution segment. And we're on a WAF Racing random racer feature this week that is a banger. Dude has a cool truck and it goes fast and built it out of, extra parts. So you can't beat that. So, Mr. Eric White, please hit that intro video.
All right, let's do it. We're going to pack things up and hit the road and try to make it the next day.
And one thing I noticed is that all of those videos in there are from Sick Week 2024.
All of them are?
All of them. Dude, that's what we had to do because it was the only event. Think about this. That was the only event when we kicked off the 24 season, but when we started doing the Drag Drive Repeat show 2024, dude, that was the only event that had happened. So there's only content we really probably had from the year anyway. So we're going to rebuild the intro video. We got some extra sponsors to add to it and all that kind of cool stuff. So, all right, guys, my name is Mike Narks. I am the host of the Drag Drive Repeat show and the Drag Drive Repeat News, which happens on Saturdays, 3 hours live for you weekly, right here, talking about drag and drive content and coverage and news and entertainment, stats and stories. It's all of it. We give it all to him right here. My right hand man, my co-host, Mr. Eric White. Introduce yourself. Tell him what you got going on.
I am Eric White, co-host of the show and the news. Right-hand man, anything that needs to be done here, drag, drive, repeat, the circuit, anything like that, photos, artwork, putting together intro videos, whatever needs to be done, and helping out with other events artwork too as those become available.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. You're working on some stuff right now for one of them as a potential. I think they're getting some bids, man. It seems weird to be doing that. The community is growing so much that it's man, I don't know. We're already over 30 events for 2025. I'm really excited, and I want to give a big shout out. If you guys didn't know, we hired an assistant last year. Joe has been absolutely killing it, dude. He messaged me today and was like, "Hey, I'm working my ass off over here doing all this stuff and you're not posting it. So, guys, you're about to get overloaded. My goal for tomorrow and Friday is I'm probably going to put out 2 or 3 articles a day on Drag Drive Repeat for the daily dose. And I hope you enjoy those. That's something that we've been talking about doing for a long time. And he's been rocking it, getting that stuff ready for me. And then I just put, my Michael Nark spin on it. And man, listen, it's been awesome. So shout out to Joe. I'm excited about what this means for 2025. And guys, race car friends, bud. That's what we need. That's what it takes. It's what it takes to do all of this. And race car friends are where it's at. And y'all, we appreciate you guys. And there's something special coming. We're going to talk about it here in just a minute for all of our race car friends. Can't do this without you. Hit the share button as we jump into this episode. And then our sponsors. Thank you so much to everybody. A lot of folks are coming back. It's great that everybody's getting back in the office. We're kind of getting these emails, having these conversations with all these sponsors. It's a ton of fun. So thank you so much to Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Change 3D, WAF Racing, Performer Built Transmissions, J Wire Solutions, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, Power Tube TV, and Racing Junk Classifieds. Y'all, it's going to be awesome 2025. Can't say thank you enough to them. And Summit, man, listen, they're a big part of our program here, obviously. And we're going to talk about why they are so important for the drag and drive community. Summit Racing's speed legacy began in 1968 as a one-man startup and is now the world's speed shop with 4 facilities and 200 plus catalog editions. They feel your passion. They save you money. They deliver fast and offer top-notch customer service from 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. Find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram on all your social stuff, and on the On All Cylinders podcast for more automotive discussions like what you're listening to here. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. You can find everything you need for your hot rod or your daily driver at summitracing.com. And y'all, like I said, they're not just sponsors. They're not just cool guys. They also race in this community. And then you see this big rig right here. They take that thing to like 50 events a year, cruising around the country in this, taking parts with them, keeping people in stock and everything. We're going to see them in 2 weeks at Sick Week as well. So we were Eric and I were talking with Tommy earlier this week, and they came on board, or they jumped on board, not came on board, jumped on board with Redwood Rally. Now they're one of the big sponsors with Redwood Rally, which is awesome. That means they are now part of 13 drag and drive events around the world. And Tommy said they're still talking to some other events. So there's more to come there. I can't believe it, man. It's pretty crazy. Is Tommy saying that F10 is ugly?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, hey, at least it's all one color. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
it helps. But one thing that's really cool, if they're not going to be at your drag and drive event, then they set up a dedicated phone line and group of techs to handle your inbound calls. So then they can like order all the they can get all the stuff to the next track. They may even have it on the at the closest summit to you there. So pretty cool, man. I really appreciate them and all the stuff they do for us.
Absolutely.
And obviously they carry Drag Drive Repeat merch, which is really cool. So, yep, grab your hoodie. It's going to be chilly. Couple nights there at Sick Week. Grab your hoodie now. Don't wait till you get down there. Or if you're on your way down, do like I did, last year before, and just swing right through the Georgia facility, the warehouse, and pick it up right there in the warehouse. So it's pretty cool to be able to do that as well. All right.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about some drag drive repeat updates. I talked in the intro, big shout out to Joe about all of the stuff that's coming to the page because of the hard work that he's been doing. And then also, this is exciting. Y'all know we don't have a ton of merch. That's going to change. We're investing in merch this year. I'm excited about having some of this. This is something we've been talking about for a long time. This design is going to be freaking over the top. And it should hopefully, for the folks that are watching this live, drop on Friday the 10th. That's what we're kind of hoping the design work will. If not the 10th, maybe the 13th. But somewhere in there, we're going to have this brand new exclusive design. If you want to see it early before anybody else can see it and get your grubby paws on a pre-order, jump in now. Get on the website. I'll share the link right now to jump on the newsletter and read a little bit about more what all you get. It's like a whole swag pack. We're going to put together a bunch of stickers and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be in the comments for all the folks that are watching on YouTube, and then Facebook is popping up now. So you guys should be seeing that any second here. So that's exciting to have that, man. I'm pumped about this design. We've talked about it for a long time. This is really, really cool.
Yeah. We saw some first revisions of it, and it's looking pretty awesome. I'm excited.
Yep. All right. Let's talk about the circuit 2025. The road trip group continues to grow. We're getting like new people every day. I know that's kind of a new thing for a lot of drag and drives, but it's like the Sick Ward and like Road Week for Rocky Mountain. So we're seeing that grow every day. Our first featured car for that, this goes up tonight after the show, is Miss Abby Paget. Now, you guys will recognize that name from Chris Paget, one of our sponsors for the circuit, but also the driver of that super badass Tri 5 wagon. I think it's 55 or 6 wagon. I can't remember off the top of my head, but these are going to be special road trip um, artwork that we're going to be putting out. So we will be emailing folks asking for photos of the cars they're bringing. And if they're not bringing a cool car, hey, we're going to put that in there anyways. We're going to talk about it. You know what I mean? Because that's part of what the road trip is. It doesn't have to be a cool car. But what I did want to tell folks, I know we are sold out for racing spots. This is going to be another way for you to get early entry into the circuit 2026. So if you missed your spot this year, if you haven't jumped on the wait list, you're way behind. Okay. The wait list is growing daily. I'm going to get 2 or 3 entries a day on that. This is another way for you to jump in because the folks that do the road trip 2025 will have early access and a discounted ticket for the circuit racing 2026. So again, we're taking care of folks that take care of us. And if you signed up for this and maybe you don't get to race this year, next year you can almost guarantee yourself a spot that way. So my goal is to just continue to offer the best regional drag and drive event that is out there, bar none. Nobody else can touch us. And I think this is a great way to shake down your car, like maybe you just want to be part of the cool kids group. That's a great way to do it. So I'm excited about the road trip. We're working through all the cool stuff that they're going to get. It's going to have special decals for the windows, all that kind of stuff. So, all right.
I like that. Maybe we should have called that instead of the road trip. We should have called it the Cool Kids Club.
That was one thing somebody did say. Somebody did say cool kids club. All right. Well, man, lead us into the driven racing goal stuff. I've been talking nonstop for 11 minutes.
Do you want to hit this last one though? I think that's a big one.
Oh, dude. Yes. Hang on. Let me back up to the circuit here. Why don't you tell us about this?
So Kyle Loftus and 1320 posted about asking what events they should attend in, I don't remember what the time frame was. Was it January to April? I think something like that. And all of our race car friends jumped in there and said, come to the circuit. What was there? 159 comments on the post when we checked last. 38 of them were for the circuit. So we'll see if that gets their attention. Hopefully they are like, what the heck is the circuit? They come, take a look, and see what we do. And it'd be super cool if those guys show up, and it'd just be extra bonus coverage for us and for what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be awesome. With the goal of raising $10,000, we're going to need all the help we can get, and having something like 1320 video coming there would be amazing. So that'd be really cool to see 1320 and even just one member of the team come down and get some coverage for a day or two would be really fun. I think it's going to be a blast. You start talking about Tulsa to Mocan to Tulsa. That's pretty cool, man. So, 38 folks out of 159 is pretty damn salty. That's gets right down to it that. I don't know. That should send a message somewhere for sure.
Yeah, somebody would have at least had to have clicked on the circuit link Facebook page and at least looked and see what it was by now.
Yeah. So thanks again to everybody. Thank you to all the race car friends that help with that. All right, now for the driven racing oil updates.
All right. Driven racing oil is the performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application, whether launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or pushing limits in top fuel drag boats and demo derbies. Winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cling and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat tappet camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil, then enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance. And you guys know drivenracingoil.com is the place to go pick up your oil, your merchandise, and check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Driven Racing Oil.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about this. We're going to talk about them at the end of this segment too. Congratulations to Michael Lone and the team over at Carolina Drag Cruise. They are sold out, 64 cars out for the for I think end of April. Yeah, end of April. So it's going to be awesome. And then Miles of Mayhem going to be on here in just a few minutes. After this segment here, they're going to actually be on. Their registration opened on Saturday.
Yep.
I think they've got a few spots left. They're going to be talking about that. And then Kakalaki Runs registration is open right now. And then the East Coast Drag and Drive is open as well. So if you're signing up for an event, those 3 events are ones you can get in right now.
Yep. And then upcoming, we've still got a few more that you can register for. Mega Week, and it's coming up January 10th and 11th for 1.0 or Group A, and the 17th and 18th for 2.0 or Group B. And also Big Sky Race Week is opening up January 11th. So here just in a few days, you've got Friday and Saturday for these.
Yep. And then race week here again, 17th and 18th. And then Buckeye Skips on the 20th. Going to open up on the 20th. And that's the one at Coon Lee Motorsports Park. I know Skip will appreciate me saying that right. He called me the other day. We had a great conversation, and I look forward to this. They've got like Big 3 Racing helping up there. They've got Ricky Russell helping with some of the promotion and some of the like rules and stuff. So that'll be a big help. Those longtime drag and drive racers. And
Yes.
then run us through the events that are upcoming.
Yep. So the next 4 events coming up, obviously Sick Week being our first event to kick off the year, January 27th through February 1st, starting and ending at South Georgia Motorsports Park. That's only in, what is that, 19 days?
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. I leave not next week, but the week after. I leave in 13 days to go down to US Street Nats. So.
Yeah. That is wild. Then after that is Kakalaki Run. I don't have the dates for that one here, but that one's in March, I believe.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
that's
into March on that one. I didn't put those in there. Sorry about that, dude. But people can go to dragdriverepeat.com/event list and see that.
absolutely. And obviously the circuit, we know the dates on that, April 3rd through April 6th. Man, less than, what is that? Less than,
Oh, dude.
man,
Yeah,
forget what
less
we're
than 90
80.
days.
I would say I think we're in the 80s last time we talked.
Yeah, I think
So,
Friday is 83 days,
okay.
based on the artwork you'd done for us for this coming up, because I think I scheduled it yesterday. One event that I did not put on there is Central Georgia Battle of the Streets. That is March 8th.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So that's exciting, man. A lot of upcoming events, a lot of cool stuff that's happening.
Yeah. It's kind of wild to think that we're already, I mean, literally it's January 8th and we're already talking about the next 4 events coming up. It's literally no off season, at least
Yeah,
for us anyways.
right. And then Casey says, "What events are you guys going to?" We're gonna post up the schedules here pretty soon. Hopefully by the middle of next week, we'll have kind of our 2025 schedule put together for events that Eric and I are attending. Um, and then Driven Racing Oil Van is going to be at Sick Week. I have confirmed with Bill that they will be there for the entirety of the week. So you'll have an opportunity to talk to those guys about the oil, and then obviously purchase some if you'd like to as well. Oh, and Dave Curtis, go ahead. Yep, I had him on the. I had it on the sheet on the event list, but didn't put it on that list there. So Central Victorian Drag and Drive event, March 27th through 29th. So we got some upcoming stuff.
And Dragway Rush here saying pre-registration February 1st.
Yeah, you are correct. It will be here before you know it. That is exactly right.
Yeah, dates are just rolling in, man. It's going to be fast and furious here.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's actually skip ahead because I don't see the Miles of Mayhem folks backstage just yet. So let's skip to the JWire Solutions segment, and talk about some community stuff from around or some cars from around the community that are being built and getting ready for the upcoming Sick Week and some other events. So, JWire Solutions, your expert car and marine wiring solutions you can trust. JWire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, race car, or drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products to make your driving experience better, like our favorite thing, the blinker module. This is a must for all drag and drive cars. The module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like the stock daily driver you have. This is a big deal, right? So, in Sick Week prep, Rick Dodge, I think, made the post the other day. Remember to check your belts and your helmets and your fire suits and all that stuff. A lot of those things finished on the 24th or on December 2024. So you will be out of date when you arrive. Now, Summit is bringing the truck, and last year they sold out of their helmets. They had 13 helmets on the truck. They sold every one of them. So you need to be ready. Gloves, fire suits, belts, helmets, all the stuff that has a date on it. Window nets, another big thing. Window nets. Make sure all of that stuff is in date right now. Stop this, pause this, and go check your car. Make sure that stuff's right. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about some cars here, though. First up, I want to talk about Brian and Jay. Obviously, Jay Blanchard, owner of JWire Solutions, also is co-pilot and um, I don't know, like work like I mean he's the number two dude. He's the right hand man of the Fast Act Racing 1970 Chevy Nova of
Yeah.
Brian Acton, and they just installed some low dollar motorsports uh, travel sensors. So this ought to be good for the front. And then he said they've also have a few other things that they are doing as well. But then he sent me this photo. What the heck, dude? There's no stuff in that motor.
Yeah. What was it? The last episode when they were on, there was a mock-up block in there, which I
Yeah.
assume is that.
Yeah, yeah. So pretty scary. I mean, we're literally,
That's
those
it.
guys 2
Did,
weeks from leaving.
yeah. Did anybody tell them it was only 19 days away?
Right. I don't even think it's 19. It's so today's the 8th. It starts the 26th with tech, and you've got at least one day to drive down because it's got to be 14 or 15 hours for them to drive down there. So I mean, they have 13, 15 days, 16 days.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Camshaft should be here soon. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm not
Pistons at
panicking. You're
Baker.
panicking.
Yeah. Pistons at Baker. Camshaft should be here soon.
That's awesome.
So what do we got going on the right picture there?
So they've welded in EGTs to each of the manifold tubes there, whatever header tubes, whatever. And so I'm excited to hear his thoughts on that in a later episode about how this car is sorted. This car has gone 850s. It's won 850 classes like nobody can believe. And instead of just I think it kind of becomes a test bed for Jay to learn and understand more stuff. So like the travel sensors in the front, he can see what all that's doing. These EGT, that'll obviously help them find if there's a problem early. But then at the same time, knowing him and his data logical mind or data, analytical mind, that's what I'm looking for. He'll be using that to do something with it. Oh, hey, if we see these kind of EGTs, back it off. But I'm
Right.
excited to see this and excited to see it like as they're driving, because that's one thing we don't ever talk about is like what's your EGTs while you're driving along. So
I've
that'll be
got
kind of
two.
fun to test. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
even know. I don't know any of that stuff. So that's going to be kind of fun to see. Um, so they're getting all that done. Trevor Slusser, I think is how you say his last name. This guy showed up last year and camped in the back of his in his Chevrolet C10 truck. Well, now he said in the Sikta magazine group, he's like, I need somebody to talk me out of this. I want to try and drive this truck, which looks to be coming swapped all the way from Michigan to Sick Week, do Sick Week, and get home on $1,000. So he was talking about camping and all that kind of stuff. You start thinking about it, like he's just doing the sick award. So you start thinking about it like that's really probably not hard if you can get the mileage. So I don't know what a C10 with a Cummins swap will get, but it's got to be pretty decent.
Yeah.
You
Pack
know,
lunches.
yeah, I mean, pack lunches, take showers at Love's truck stops and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I don't know if you guys all saw this, But Cooper is coming back to Sick Week. It's been a hot minute since he did it, but he is bringing the 2JZ swapped 7-second Camaro instead of the what was it, an LS swapped SN95 that
Yep.
he had last time.
Yep, I'm excited about this. This is going to be cool because it's 2JZ, so it's going to be a little weird. He's going to be in the Sick Freaks class. And in the video that he put out, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, which is where this came from, he's talking about tires, he's talking about all this stuff. So it was really laid out well in the sense that it's going to help some people get ready for kind of their prep. If they're going to be a first timer and all this kind of stuff.
And I don't know that he's done a drag and drive with the Camaro
No,
before.
he has not. That's one other thing he was talking about was how much different this car is versus the, you know, LS with the Power Glide. It's got an LSA on it, but I mean, that car's easy. Like it's not hard. This car is going to be a little different, little harder to do because of the 2JZ part of it, I think. And then this car was not built for the street, which is what we end up seeing for a lot of race cars. These guys gut them. They try and get as light as possible. They put, you know, Heim joints in everywhere. It rides like crap. And it's built to get traction and not drive on the street and things start rattling apart and all that. So it's going to be kind of fun to watch him go through this. So he's one of the guys we're going to follow through the week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then this comment should lead us right into our next person. Chris here saying we're still
Yeah.
working on a car that is still a bare shell. When is Sick Week again?
Yeah. This photo was posted by David Deal. Let's see. On January 2nd. So this was
Six
posted the
days
second.
ago.
Yeah. This is scary to me, like to be this far away from it.
There's nothing there.
Also, no, there's literally nothing there. And then they said they shaved 19 and a half pounds from the roof of the car. So I don't necessarily think they were planning to come to Sick Week, but I think peer pressure has got a hold of them. They're one of the 70 racers that have done all of them. So now they're coming. They want to make this back. Chris Mary, obviously the driver, the hired gun for the blue 850 Mustang of theirs, but shaved 20 pounds out of the roof, and David said that's where you want to take it out in a car that's looking for a huge single turbo, small tire, 6-second car. You got to get all that weight down as low as possible. So he said, hopefully that'll help with the wheelies a little bit. And then on the 7th, which is yesterday for everybody watching this live, this was posted by Chris Mary, or this was posted, sorry, back to Chris Mary's comment that Chris had come by and dude's working the bumper or the fenders, man. This is crazy. The rear quarters, like, what the heck is happening here? So I don't know, man. It makes me panic just a little bit to know that. So if you guys aren't following Deal Brothers Racing, you need to go over and do that. Man, I don't know. Somebody said they're changing colors as well, but I don't see the other jam painted on there yet. So I don't know. Good luck to them, man. I'm panicking for them.
No kidding. All right. And then Donovan Linwood has made an update to his car. He kept cutting and ended up adding torque boxes, saying, we decided to go a little further than I expected to because everyone told me since I was that far, I was dumb not to do at least upper torque boxes.
Yeah.
Hoping this will get me a little more usable upper bar angle and take the worry out of my mind of stuff moving back there. So, and then he also narrowed the rear end to get more clearance.
Yeah, pretty crazy for him to go that deep on that. I'm excited for him. And then this one here, this is probably one of the most cars I'm most excited about seeing. This is the Bitter Tears Camaro of Stefan Gustafsson. And if you guys don't remember, he's the baddest at Sick Week. Like, he won the first one. He's been in the top 3 at the other 2. Chris Mary doing the Jeff Gordon DuPont paint scheme. That's funny.
Please.
Yeah, this Bitter Tears Camaro is going to be badass. It's super lightweight, built to go fast, and this car is going to be very, 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 very fast, very fast to say the least. So it's at Customs by Biggins right now, and they'll have no street miles on it when it arrives at Sick Week. So
Man.
Maybe they can drive it some before then, but I mean, you can see it now. The workload that they have ahead of them is, I mean, I don't know. If you're not following Bitter Tears Camaro, get over there and do it. It's great follow right now. Lots of updates, almost daily, are going on over there. So pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah. The GTR here. Hopefully, I'll be ready to battle Cooper in the Sick Freaks class.
That's awesome. Let me jump back here just real quick. That is our J Wire Solutions segment. Did want to give a shout out to Jay. We are working. We'll work on the. If everybody can see that lower part there on the bar, there it's supposed to say J Wire where it's black. That shows up better in the non-background part.
Yes.
Once you put the background in here on StreamYard, it just blacks that thing right out. So I'll get that fixed tonight when I get inside, but I just noticed it today. So shout out to him. Thanks again, Jay. Appreciate it. We'll see you soon. All righty. Well, it looks like we've got the Miles of Mayhem folks here. So let's move my notes back up there and talk to them for the next few minutes. I want to, obviously, this is an event that's on our list. I keep saying I want to go every year. This is one that I want to do. This is definitely top of mind for us. And this will be part of the Molly segment here. I'll go ahead and read this one if you're all right with it.
Yep.
Attention high performance enthusiasts and racers, meet the Molly Motorsport Power Pack Kit, your ultimate solution for power packed performance. The Power Pack pistons are made from either 4032 aluminum alloy to allow for tighter cylinder to wall clearances and improved temperature stability, or 2618 alloy to allow for increased detonation resistance. What sets Molly apart? Forged pistons, graphol coating, and phosphate treatment for peak performance and durability. Elevate your ride with Molly Motorsport, where performance meets precision. Visit mollymotorsport.com for more details. And for all the folks that are listening to this, Molly is spelled Mahle. Well, again, on this segment, we have the Miles of Mayhem team. 2025 is going to be their 5th year. Registration opened on Saturday, January 4th. We're going to find out if there's any spots remaining. And then I want to talk about some of the folks that are on the top 50 list and all that. So let's bring them in now. Dustyn and Josie, how are you guys?
Hey, we're doing good.
Let me turn you up just a little bit here real quick. All right. Well, introduce yourselves. Tell us why you started Miles of Mayhem.
Why we started Miles of Mayhem? COVID. Then we needed it. I needed a Mega Drive, so it was time.
It was time. That is. See a lot of your folks in here. So I want to talk about registration. I wanted to ask, are there a few spots available? Is there any way people can get in, or do they need to jump on the wait list?
It's looking like there's always guys selling them on the
Hang on. I think the mic is maybe spun just a little bit.
Oh.
There we go. Yeah, now we're good.
Oh, okay. Oh. Yeah, that should be better.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So are there spots available?
Yeah, they're looking about 5 spots left right now. So it's there.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, who are some of the folks that are in that you guys are excited to see?
We got Pat Miker coming back. He's our fast guy. So good to see him back. We got lots. Ron Beeson coming back. He was our winner of our Nash Gas rating last year. So we got quite a few guys coming back. It'll be good to see them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Whoa, sorry, I've got you up too loud. It's like there we go. Okay. 4 of the Miles of Mayhem from 2024 racers were in the top 50. Pat Miker, of course, dude's an animal. Only 4-second car, or only 4-second average at Miles of Mayhem 24. He was number 4 on the top 50 list. Dennis Drummond, number 29, Chris Hine, our boy in the 34, 33 coupe, something like that. And then Jason Buchert at number 40 on the top 50 list for 8th mile racers for national level events. So congratulations. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's good to see. We got some.
And then how many of those events has Pat Miker won? Has he won them all?
Two. Two of them so far. He didn't make it the first year or the second year. He didn't complete the trials on the first 2 years, but I think he's won every other one he's been in.
Right. So he's 2 for 3. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Or 2 for 4. Sorry. Yeah. Wow. Well, tell us where are we headed for 2025?
We changed it around a bit, so we're starting off at Ricky. Central Alberta Raceway is starting one, and then we're back up to Hat, and then we're coming back to Forestburg.
Is Area 53, is that like Area 51 here in the US?
No, not quite. But so no, going back to Forestburg, we're excited about, and
Man, the microphone is just not picking up.
No. Okay. We can try one other thing here.
Sorry.
No, is that better now?
Yeah, that's better. Perfect.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so let's run back through those tracks.
What's that? Sorry.
Let's run back through the tracks.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. So we're starting off at Rimbey at the Central Alberta Raceways for a test and tune day one, and then we'll hit the road. It's a bit of a drive to Medicine Hat. We'll from Medicine Hat we go to Forestburg, so it's good to be back at Area 53. Then back to Rad Torque and Rimbey again. So.
And then you guys have been there. 3 of these tracks, I think, are kind of normal for your loop. But are there some new tracks? Is Forestburg new for you?
Yeah, we've been to Forestburg the first 2 years. We did Miles of Mayhem. So we switched out Forestburg with SIR.
That's right.
This year. It's a little less driving, so just try and change it up.
I'm sure people won't hate that.
No, it's usually the hottest day when you have to do that long drive, it seems like. So it should be a nice little break.
Right. Dragway Rush here saying Dragon Drive's really growing lately in Canada. Yeah, I think you guys are up to 5 events now up there, man. It's awesome.
Is it 5 now? I know 3 for sure.
Yep. So you've got East Coast Dragon Drive, which is a new weekend event. You got Dragway Rush, which is further west a little bit, kind of in that little dip there. And then another regional event. And then you've got you guys, of course. There's a new one called Home Quarter, and then there's the BC Drag It Challenge.
Yeah,
so pretty
it's
awesome.
good to see it growing. Yeah.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is people don't understand how big Canada is, but now there's like events in all the regions almost, man. It's pretty amazing to see.
Yeah, no, it's good to see it grow, and it's exactly what the sport needed.
Yeah, and you guys have going into your 5th year, man. We need to have you on for a long episode and like just let you talk about what you've learned.
Oh, you learn a lot.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You definitely fly by the seat of your pants, it seems like, the whole week. You never know what the competitors or the drive's going to throw at you. So just pretty much buckle up and hold on.
Yeah.
Well, what are some of the route stops that you guys have planned for this year?
We haven't quite got our route planned. We kind of, winter time and all that crap here. So we'll probably start driving, making our route. We do the route about 3 times before the event, just planning it and finding checkpoints. And it worked out pretty good last year. We had some car clubs help out and do some checkpoints for us. So that was a nice kind of break and got the clubs involved, they got the towns more involved. So
Yeah.
we are thinking of posting the route, kind of like what Sick Week does before the event. So we'll see how
Really
that
good
goes.
idea.
I think so. I think then we can get the towns more involved as we go through. Because it seems like when you drive through, all the towns are asking what's going on,
Yeah.
and they just can't really believe like all these cars coming through, little trailers, race cars, and yeah.
Do you have a rough idea on what the mileage is going to be for the drives this year?
It's looking like about 1,100 kilometers. Just Google mapping it.
Gotcha.
So a few
That's cool.
kilometers shorter.
And so what's that in mileage? Like 850 or something like that?
Yeah, we'd be just below
Yeah.
900 miles roughly.
Man, that's awesome. Your guys won't know what to do.
No, they won't. You know, a little bit of a treat for them. We've had some guys asking us to do like a smaller, 2 or 3 day one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and try and keep the drive really small and try and get some of the fast cars out. So there might be something in the future.
Yeah,
Sweet.
definitely. And we talk about regional events all the time doing that. Like a guy that has a really fast car, like typically guys like Pat Miker's car, they're like, oh no, I can't drive that far, blah, blah, blah. Well, like, then they go out and they do 50 or 70 miles. They're like, I probably could have done another 50 or 75 miles.
Yeah. Well, I think those guys cruise at about 70 miles an hour, so they're making time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They don't mess around.
No.
Well, were there any classes that were added for 2025?
No, we didn't add any classes. We're going to stick with the 9.
Yeah.
We have talked about doing a junior street, which would be nice to add in.
Yeah, I'll say that's probably a pretty easy one because typically what we see with like with Rocky Mountain, there's 6 or 8 of those. You know what I mean? So it doesn't take up a ton of time, and they need 2 passes a day or whatever.
Yeah, and we got to get the next generation involved and keep the sport going. So
Yeah, I agree with that. That's for sure. Well, let's talk about some fun stuff. I want to hear about y'all's, like, in your opinion, your favorite roadside repair story that you've heard.
Oh, one of my favorites is a guy breaking down and going to the dealership, and he bought like a 2-year-old Camaro to finish the event.
What?
So that one kind of blew me away that was on our first year too. So people were just rowdy and ready to go.
That's awesome.
And we've seen a few engine swaps and stuff. So no, there's some good ones for sure.
Yeah, I was going to say Kyle Amilano won the first ever Molly Motorsport toughest roadside repair with his engine swap in the little yellow truck, and that was in 2023. And then I think he come out in 24 and didn't have any problems. I think he sailed right through the event, right?
Last year he didn't bring the yellow truck. He brought his wife's truck, the backup.
Gotcha. Yeah. So see, sailed right through.
Yeah, Rodney here saying parking lot golf cart race winner in 24 has called you out for 25.
Yeah, I guess they're getting a little rowdy. A couple guys were carting golf carts around with them.
Oh,
they
yeah.
got into some night racing at the hotel the one night, I guess. So
yeah, that's I think that's what is the most fun about your event is there's stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, the groupings at the hotels and stuff. It sucks. We miss a lot of it because we're in the motorhome at the track. So you just hear all the stories the next morning.
That probably is the toughest part about being the promoter. You're the last to show up, or you're the last to leave, first to show up. You don't get to see any of the cool roadside stuff because you're trying to get to wherever the next spot is.
Right? You miss a lot of stuff, but it's good to hear the stories and you don't have to be out there sweating underneath a car with them. So
right,
it's okay that way.
That's right. Yeah. Rodney here saying that Kyle's wife had bought the motor before he was back in the pits. What a great
they didn't even have it off the track, and they're telling me they got a new engine coming, and yeah, they deserve that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, what are some of the things you're most excited about for 2025?
A little different route. That'll be a good change. We got about it's looking at about 40% new competitors this year. So, well,
That's awesome.
35%. Yeah. So it's good to meet some new people and see what new cars come out.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. That's a huge win there for you guys for sure. You know, we're seeing this like over and over where all these new people are taking advantage of these events, and I'm sure it hurts the veterans because they're like, what the heck, I didn't get in or whatever. But like you said, there's a few spots left. How many did you say?
Well, I think we got about 5 spots left
Oh
right
my
now.
God, dude.
So that means we sold 195 spots.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
that's
awesome.
awesome.
So
Yeah, in 3 days, and I think if I remember the post right, you had posted up in like 2 hours that you guys were almost full. So, man, that's really cool,
yeah, it's glad to see guys that are still excited to come and new people joining. It's what keeps us going, doing it for sure.
right? Man, 5 spots left. That's great, dude. Um, uh, yeah. Somebody was asking how many entries this year, so 200 entries.
Yeah, the 200 again this year.
Yeah, I think that's a great number. We're expanding to 200 with the circuit, and I'm nervous to be honest. I think that's about the right number because there's not too many folks, but there's still enough there that there's racing action all day.
Yeah, you get enough cars like to keep the track full for the whole day. But what we were running into was like our towns aren't really big enough. Like, we go to Forestburg, we don't stay in Forestburg. There's not enough hotels. There's probably 30 rooms in that town, right? So we gotta stay about an hour away. So, but like, we find like when we did the jump from about 100 and I think it was 140 to 180, it was crazy the difference.
Yeah.
40 doesn't sound like a lot of cars, but it definitely changed the dynamics of it for sure.
Well, yeah, when you start looking at that many racers, 40 cars is like 70 people. And if you went from like 250 people to 320 people, that's a big difference.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a noticeable difference.
Yeah. And now you're like, 350 people because, most folks in the States, anyways, like to have a co pilot just for the extra set of hands.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of guys cruising by themselves. You get a few, but
Yeah. That's cool, man. Well, I'm excited. What else can we expect? So, what are we looking at for the next few weeks here leading up? I know, we've got a few months till the event, but these guys need to be working on their stuff right now. Even though it is, what's the temp up there for you guys right now? Like negative 400 degrees or something crazy?
actually it's been pretty nice. It'd probably be, it's been sitting around -10, -20 degrees Celsius here. So, that's nice weather this time of year.
Gross. Yeah, it's 20 here, and I'm complaining.
20. So that'd be, what would that be?
I mean, that's probably 6 or 8 degrees Celsius or
Yeah.
something like that crazy. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how folks live up there, but the good thing is when it's summertime up there, and you guys will see some warm temps during your event.
Yeah. We've been pretty lucky with weather too. Like
Yep.
this year we had the one rain out, and we probably could have held off another hour or two and got some racing in, but then we would have crossed through a big hailstorm, and we made the call just to keep going last
Yep.
year, and it worked out. A lot of guys were kind of excited because it was like terrible storm, and then we got down in the coulees and it was like plus 40 degrees Celsius, and yeah, we get all the weather. So
They were like, "This is great."
yeah, well, it was too hot then.
Oh man, that's awesome. Well, listen, I want to say thanks for coming on tonight. We appreciate you guys and all that you do for the community. You're one of the longest running drag and drives that are out there. We've seen this crazy boom in the last 2 years. You guys going on your 5th year now, man. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. We're gonna keep it going as long as we can too. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, if you do end up putting together a weekend deal, man, keep us updated. Let us know. We'd love to help in any way we can and help promote and all that kind of stuff. We love what you guys do. And I promise, I'm gonna get up there and see you guys one time.
we'll get you guys up here soon enough.
Yep.
For sure.
All right. Hey, thanks so
Hey,
much,
thanks
Dustyn.
for
Y'all
having
have
me.
a great day, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, you too.
Yeah, see ya.
See you.
Yeah, see you guys.
Man, how fun. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, we got to make that trip, dude. We got to make that trip to go up there and see the guys at Miles of Mayhem. Again, if you haven't done it yet, please follow them on Facebook, and obviously you can follow them on their website, but it's not nearly as much fun. MOMERS is their Facebook group. Join that to keep up with all the racers. There's a lot of cross pollination of racers that do that. Our boy Rich Guido is one of the first members of that, our first racers of that event. So he's always in there talking. Trevor Brandon is a big part of their program up there as well. So anytime there's events in the North America, it's always good for us to support them. So Miles of Mayhem, or the MOMERS, Momers, Miles of Mayhammers, on that. So if you're in Canada and you're watching this, bundle up and go sign up to. They got 5 spots left. Yeah. Oh hey, yeah, Brandon Parker, Miles of Mayhem 26. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah, you
I'll do
never know
less
when.
events in 26 to go to Miles of Mayhem.
Well, you never know. You wait long enough, and it'll be the 51st state, and we won't have to worry about too much going up there.
Well, hey, listen, we're not talking politics on here. Again, big shout out to Molly Motorsports. Appreciate them and all they do for us and the community. Again, they're not just sponsors of this stuff. They are also racers. Eric racing his stick shift Nova, and George racing his 700 plus horsepower small block Mopar Duster there on the left. So super cool, guys.
Yep.
All righty, let's move on. Do you want me to do this, or you want to run these?
I'll go ahead and grab these.
Perfect.
So, once again, we got to ask everybody to, well, first we got to thank our race car friends for hanging out here. Great numbers tonight, lots of comments. So appreciate everybody jumping in, especially those coming from the Miles of Mayhem crew. So thank you guys for what you guys do and keep us motivated. And of course, without our sponsors, we couldn't do any of this. So thank you to Summit Racing Equipment, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Change 3D, WAF Racing, Performabelt Transmission, J-Wire Solutions, Howard's Cams, Sweet Patina, Power Tube TV, and a Racing Junk. And then, as we always talk about the gentleman's agreement, that is, we are going to continue doing what we do because it's what we love to do. We love talking about drag and drive. We ask for you guys to like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is that you're watching or listening. Make sure you do that. Share it out. Tell all your friends about the Drag Drive Repeat show. And then we can't guarantee you that we don't have a way to prove that you're going to do that. That's why it's a gentleman's agreement. So we're going to continue doing ours, and that's what we ask of you guys.
Yeah, that's for sure. And then Power Tube TV, love this, man. They're awesome. Ray and I were having conversations earlier this week about all the stuff that's coming up, like Pinks 2.0, going to be on Power Tube TV very soon. So that's exciting. Rev up your engines with Power Tube TV, the ultimate destination for automotive entertainment. Stream for free on the web, Roku, mobile apps, and more. Catch replays of our show right here on this, and exclusive content from other creators featuring classics like Pinks, which is coming back, and Pastime, which is coming back for 2025. I'm excited about that, plus a ton of original shows, a lot of other content creators within this content creator development program that we're a part of. And so be part of something special. Talk to Ray and the team over at PowerTube TV at watchpttv.com. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Love those guys. And let's talk about some WAF racing stuff. If you guys, let's play the video, then we'll get into WAF racing.
All right, I'll hit this video and then we'll jump in.
Today we'd like to introduce you to our improved carburetor toolkit. Built off of our original, this one is a little larger footprint, a little thinner height, but offers a lot more storage than our original kit. After a year of using the original, a lot of things we loved about it, but we did see some opportunities for improvement, so here we are. So the new one has a snapping lid. Open it up, it carries all the same tools, in addition to our idle adjusting screwdriver, whether using the original version or the Pro version, both fit in the case. Inside the case, tools are easy to access. They come out nice and easy. We have our new and improved combination wrench, which also has a feature for installing or holding jet extensions during a jet change. Our larger jet block holds 16 sets of main jets, air bleed block holds 24 air bleeds. We've got 3 power valves, 6 squirters, a bunch of pump cams. We still hold metering block and fuel bowl gaskets, plus all the smaller gaskets. Another nice feature is the lid is designed to stay flat when it's open and pretty sturdy. So when you're working on the carburetor at the track, you've got a really nice tray to set stuff in as it comes apart and goes together. For those of you who already purchased our original kit, we are offering an upgrade kit for a really reasonable price.
All right.
So that wasn't even the right video, but
That's all right.
we
Hey,
gotta we need to do a little bit of organizing here in our
Well,
video over
and
here.
hey, one thing we need to do is tell people to go listen. He's not good with money. Okay. Chris is building 3 different cars to do drag and drives in. Y'all need to go support him so he can do more of these drag and drive, buy more parts and all that kind of stuff. They got a lot of really cool stuff. Like the carburetor toolkit he was showing there, and man, just a ton of other stuff. Carburetor stack stands, all kinds of storage, spark plug holders, all that, like he was showing. So, and then they have a new website. Well, not a new website. They just updated a whole lot of really cool stuff. And you see that in the top left. In the top left there, proud sponsors of Drag Drive Repeat. That's right there on their homepage. So we appreciate them putting all that on there. They're also, Rovic does a ton of R&D for them, and in here making comments. And Rovic is our guest on next week's show, episode 95. Rovic is going to be on. I'm excited about that. So it's going to be really, really cool. And then you see the Shift Points partner there. If you guys don't know, Shift Points is looking for a ride. He wants to be a co-pilot at the circuit 2025. So if you have an open seat, hook him up. I think he would be a good hand to have around for sure. Well, when we started doing the WAF racing thing, I wanted to do something fun. I wanted to have, I wanted to do something different. So we created this random racer. Basically, I take random.org and I put the number. So there's 939 racers that have done Sick Week historically. I took all of those, I put them in descending order from quickest to slowest, and I just hit find me a number, generate a number through random.org. And it gave us number 282, which on this episode was awesome because the dude is super cool. And big shout out to Joe Barstow. So he is this week's WAF Racing's random racer. And the truck here you're looking at, he raced. So it also came back at 2023 Sick Week. And then it's a 2000 Silverado that essentially he bought the truck. That's what he said. I bought the truck for a customer donor with the 4.8 that was in it and the transmission for an LS swap. Truck was from Florida and super clean, but looks like they just tried running into everything they could with the bed. Said short bed wasn't going to be in the card. So it is a long bed. He said, use this because I had it and used parts I had around the shop to build it besides buying a built rear end to save him time. So it's got a stock front suspension and just Calvert rear shocks with Caltrax, and went a best of 976 at 146 miles an hour down at SGMP at Sick Week 2023. He says it's such a basic build, but still workable as a truck. That was his whole idea around the whole thing. He said some front suspension changes, and I believe the truck could touch the 8s without much else. Like that's
awesome.
That's pretty crazy. So it has been upgraded. I'm gonna let you flip through the photos while I kind of read through some of this.
Yep.
He says he estimates the horsepower somewhere between 900 and 1,000. Says he has $17,000 total in the truck. So pretty amazing.
Really not bad.
Yeah, turbo 6-liter. He did upgrade obviously from the 4.8 to a 6-liter. It's got a turbo 400. It's got an 88 millimeter VS turbo on it. Precision wastegates. Built 10 bolt, obviously, like he said there, and then disc brake conversion to 15-inch wheels. I mean, like Viking double adjustables, aluminum drive shaft, stock bottom and BTR camshaft, all this kind of stuff. The whole thing there. It's got an ATI converter, 850 cage that he put in the shop that he owns there. It's got a 501 perfect converter, restalled the ATI converter. It's got full interior heat, Holley Terminator. It's tuned by our boy Rick Trunket at Big 3 Racing. Said it made 850 with the 4.8. And then he's switched obviously to the 6-liter since then. Runs on pump gas, twin Magna Fuel 500s, full stainless exhaust. I mean, like it just works, man. It just
Yeah.
works. And to go that quick on that little amount of money is pretty cool. And again, just to kind of randomly come across him was pretty neat. He said he's not going to be at Sick Week this year. So he's currently trying to sell the truck. So if anybody's interested, hit him up. He said he's building a 65 Nova to try and be a 7-second street car. So he's got to take the time away from Sick Week this year. He owns a fab shop called After Hours Performance or After Hours Fab and Performance. They do full builds, chassis, turbo kits, full chassis, limited drag radial cars. It's kind of a big deal lately. And he said we're real busy right now, so he's got to stick around here to do that. But that's the shop information there, somewhere in Ohio. I can't remember the city that he's in from Ohio, but super cool truck. And to randomly land on that, and we've struggled in the past with doing the random thing and like nobody, they don't have a Facebook profile, they don't have any photos or anything like that. And this is completely different. So appreciate him doing that. So you can see some of the photos here of stuff that he's done in the past. So pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I like this random kind of spotlight. It's cool because you never know who you're gonna get, and I mean, like this one's pretty sweet, and it really shows just like everybody else does. You start with a car, it goes, nines, and then next thing you know, you're building a 7-second car. So we can all understand that one.
Oh yeah. Well, and he raced a different car in Sick Week 2022. So, is he the kind of guy he just builds something new every time? Or like this truck, in my opinion, is really cool because it's something that it's built with stuff he had laying around.
Right.
That's always a cool deal. So you end up with parts and pieces and stuff. And if he's like me and a hoarder, then it's not hard to come across a whole bunch of stuff,
Right.
especially if you're building cars. So pretty cool. Yep. After Hours Fab and Performance is our, and Joe Barstow is our random WAF Racing random racer feature this week. Oof, say that 3 or 5 times fast. So pretty cool there. Well, let's jump into bringing Mr. Dustyn Caudle on. Hang on here.
Bucket list here saying public announcement. If you're not going to make it to Sick Week, let Jenny know. We're still on the wait list, please.
Yes, this is a big conversation. Then we'll bring Dustyn in, I promise. This is a big deal because, man, this happens a ton where we saw it at the circuit. There were 20-something people that signed up that had tickets that purchased, but just they never showed up. Didn't message, didn't do anything. We had a lot of people message saying they couldn't come, and that allowed a lot of folks to come in from the wait list. But this year it's going to be a problem, man. Like, we've got more than 200 spots sold already, with sponsored spots and things like that. And we're limited at 200 for the racetracks. So start kind of looking, the folks of just showing up, man, that's going to be kind of tough, especially for Sick Week, with as many people as they would have on the wait list and as many people that would want to attend. That could be a problem if everybody shows up just, day of. So, they said last year they weren't going to take day of registration. I haven't seen that this year. So, hopefully fingers crossed for folks, but we would love to see Bucket List Mob back down there. All right. Let's run into the Howard's Cams community segment here and talk to Mr. Dustyn Caudle in a moment. If you'll play the video, sir.
Yep, I'll hit the right one this time.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Harris from the Monoxide Podcast. Real quick, Howard's Cams was founded as a racing cam manufacturer almost 80 years ago when Howard Johansson created Howard's Power and Racing Equipment in 1945. Howard's Cams has always used on-track experience to design the most powerful designs, and today they have an even greater group of experienced racers in circle track, drag racing, road race, mud bog, and marine. They use all this input plus the most advanced computer software to design the most competitive race-winning products. From pioneers in drag racing and oval track to cutting-edge marine development, Howard's Cams is at the forefront of the industry. So make sure to reach out to our friend Luke B for your next valve train upgrade.
Big shout out to our boy Harris at Monoxide for recording there, but then also for his insane growth. If you guys enjoy podcast stuff, you got to listen to the Monoxide, MINNOXIDE podcast. It's awesome, man. I love it.
Yeah, Joe here popping in saying thanks for the shout out. Appreciate it. Keep up the great work with the Drag and Drive community.
Yeah, man, he was awesome. Him and I messaged back and forth, 8 or 10 times today about the truck and all the other stuff they work on, and so it's pretty cool, man. I'm excited to meet him. Hopefully, we'll see him, at an event later this year. There's some stuff in his part of the country, for sure. Well, Dustyn Caudle, if you guys don't know this, is probably one of the um, he's probably raced at as many drag and drive events as anyone out there. He's been, I think he's raced at just about every major event, and then every national level event, and at a ton of regional events. This guy in 2023 was one of our drag and drive ambassadors. He attended 8 drag and drives in 2023. Think about
Yeah.
that. 8 Dragon Drives in 2023. So pretty crazy. Well, let's bring him on because I wanna ask just how many he thinks he's done. Mr. Dustyn, how are you this evening, sir?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh man, I'm excited. You've been on before, so we don't have to go through a lot of the get to know you stuff, but we definitely want you to tell folks who you are, where you're from, and like your fleet of cars, and then we're gonna get into some fun stuff.
All right. I'm Dustyn Caudle, live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've got 4 Chevy Loves. I've got a 70 C10, a 67 Chevelle, a motorcycle, and I've got a couple of other projects trucks that I don't know if I'll build them or just get rid of them. But one of them's a 79 Plymouth Arrow pickup truck, and then a 80 Dodge D50. But
That's awesome. And you've got one of the coolest tow rigs, small RV. I don't what do you call it? Tell us about that thing too.
I call it the box. It's a 2003 Chevy 3500 box truck. It's a 14-foot box truck that we've converted the inside to a camper, and it's got a TV, microwave, sink, water, beds in there, a couch, so we can hang out in the AC and watch TV or whatever.
That's
Dude, I
awesome.
love that thing. Yeah, I was all over that thing at the circuit. I think it was the circuit. I
Yeah.
was like, man, this is what I need. And you guys have used that thing tow everywhere.
Yeah, we've taken it down to Florida for Sick Week and taken it all the way out to Arizona, for King of the Open Road and Death Week. So it's been all across the country, and it's been great because driving there as soon as the sun goes down is when I'm about to start falling asleep. So we can just pull over in a truck stop and just sleep until the next morning and keep on going.
Dude, that's awesome. Eric knows, man. I talk about RV stuff, what I'm going to do, if I'm going to buy one, if I'm going to build one, and that one's definitely high on my list for all the fun stuff. Well, let's talk about your history of stuff. So you've been 8-time Rocky Mountain Race Week racer, 3 times Sick Weeks. That's kind of what started, got my brain kicking around of having you on tonight, really. And I appreciate you. You took a spot that somebody last minute had to bail out. You took their spot. I appreciate that a whole bunch, man. And I'm excited you're on tonight. So 3 Sick Weeks, at least 3 of the circuits, right?
Yeah, I think 2019 was the first year I did the circuit.
Yeah. So then, so more. Yeah. So it would be 5 then. And then from what I can find, 2 drag weeks.
Yeah, we did 2017 and 2018 drag weeks.
Man,
With now with race weeks kind of the same week or thereabouts, we kind of stick to race week.
yeah. Well, typically race weeks in your backyard.
Right. Yeah.
Starts at Tulsa or hits Tulsa somewhere in there. That makes it easier. And then a whole lot of King of the Open Roads. How many King of the Open Roads have you done?
I'm not sure the exact number, but I feel like it's probably 6. They do the token for each drive, and so I've got a frame made that I put all my tokens in. I believe it's somewhere around 6 or 7, I believe.
Man, that's awesome. I love what Jared's doing. I love that he's coming to Tulsa this year too. I think that's going to be so cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to Tulsa may be the most visited track of 25. I don't know. I'll have to do the math on that.
Yeah, I know that at least three are going to be in Tulsa.
Yep. Yeah. So it's going to be close. It's going to be between us and Milan again. Milan,
Yeah.
they have a ton because of Michigan Miles and Heads Up Hustle and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, yeah. So just doing the math here, that's 11, 17, 22, 24 just in that mix. And I'm sure there's others that are mixed around in there too. I mean, like you did 8 in 1 year.
Yeah, I think I keep a list, and I think my total is 26. I don't know if you have some of the smaller ones on there or not, but yeah, I think there's like some are uh, 16 or 18 national, and the rest are regional.
Man, that's
dragon
awesome.
drives. So.
That's super
awesome.
cool.
Golly, 26 events, dude. We could spend 2 hours just talking to you about event stuff.
Yeah.
So with that many events, what's been like your toughest roadside repair?
Well, thankfully we haven't had too many major ones, but 2018 drag week, we were leaving. I had made 2 passes at Darlington, and I think we were heading to ZMAX in Charlotte. And we were just a couple miles down the road from leaving the track, and there was a thud on the floorboard underneath my feet. And my dad and I both looked at each other, and we didn't know what it was. So I just assumed I ran something over in the road, and it just kicked it up and hit the floorboard. Well, we go on a few more miles into the next town and come to a red light, and I hit the brakes, and there's no brakes. And so thankfully the light turned green, and I was able just to cut the wheel and turn right onto a side street, and we just kind of scrubbed along the curb to slow down because we had no brakes. We'll come to find out the bolt that holds the brake pads in the caliper had broken, and that was the pads coming out. And so we
wow.
Another racer stopped and gave us a fitting to block off the brake line, and that way at least we'd have brake pressure. And so we headed towards Charlotte and in search of brake pads, and we found a speed shop that thought he had some, but he turned out he didn't. But he's like, I got a customer, go by his house. And I mean, we drove down dirt roads to this guy's house, but he was super cool. He had the pads we needed, and he let us change them there in his shop, and we hung out there and got to talk to him for a while. So that was probably the most memorable repair we've had to do.
That's
wow.
cool.
Dude, that's crazy. That's pretty crazy. I bet that's that's one of the worst feelings ever. Is like
right.
Pedal to the floor. Oh crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
big shout out to your dad, just real quick. I had that in my notes there, but yeah, big shout out to your dad who's been on. I mean, he's been on all these with you.
Yeah, every one of them.
Wow, that's so cool, man. That is so cool. Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What about a couple memories that you've had? So that was roadside repair. Has there been any other kind of memorable things that have popped out in those 26 events?
2022 on race week, I was in the 10-0 class, and each time we go to an event, I never have the intention of going there to win the class. That's just not me. It's like I want to go there, do as well as I can, have fun, and wherever we finish, we finish. And from the get-go in the 10-0 class, we were leading and we led the whole week and won the class. And it's just one of those things that, I never expected to win, a class. And it's just made me realize, if you do it long enough, you can earn that, so that's been pretty cool.
You got a chance there. That's pretty awesome.
And then the route for Death Week, that was, I think, one of the most epic routes that we've had. I mean, it was a 9-day event, but still we covered so many miles and so many different types of terrain. That was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah. This shot here. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The truck, obviously, I mean, super cool, but like seeing it against this backdrop is pretty amazing.
The bucket list mob here saying, how much vacation time do you have? Geez, 26 events.
Yeah, luckily I've been at my job for going on 17 years, so I've got 4 weeks of vacation, and they're pretty lenient with me and letting me kind of stretch it as I need to. So I'm pretty appreciative of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Aaron Roberts says left that gear vendor on to win.
That's right. I kind of even forgot about that. That was I did that by mistake. Normally, whenever I got to the track, I'd always turn my gear vendor off, and I had just forgotten to turn it off, and it slowed it down just to the number I needed, and so I ran the rest of the week like that, and it worked out.
That's awesome. And for folks that don't know, that don't follow Rocky Mountain a whole lot, listen, the 10.0 index is one of the most competitive index classes that they have. It's wild and very, very tight. I wanted to show these pictures here side by side because a lot of folks confuse these for the same truck, but they're not. They're different trucks.
Yeah, the one on the right side, that's the truck I call unlovable. That's the one I started with. We raced it through 2021, I think, from 17 to 21. And then I built the other truck, which I call unloved, and it's a turbo 5.3 LS deal. And we've just been going with that one since 2021. And I kind of feel bad because unlovable has just been sitting in storage, and I need to get it out and drive it some.
Now, in the first shot I was showing there, this is I can't remember what year the circuit was. I think this was 22 maybe or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, and your dad alternated between you and your brother. Your brother driving the small block truck, the one on the left there, and you driving the unloved truck. So pretty cool, man. It's pretty neat to have all of those at the same time. So that's really worked out to have a lot of really cool photos of those together throughout the years.
Yeah. There's not many photos of them together, but I got to line up against my brother and get a cool picture of him on the starting line together. So that was pretty neat.
So what kind of ETs does the unlovable truck run?
The quickest it's been is 1072. It's just got a 671 supercharger on it with Vitec fuel injection, which I've kind of been. It worked well for the Vitec fuel injection. Worked well for a long time, but it's kind of gotten where it's been real finicky, and so that's one of the reasons why I haven't really driven it a lot lately. Is just because I haven't had the time or the want to mess with it, because the other truck's been working so well that I don't know if I want to put a set of carburetors on it or try some other type of fuel injection. But
interesting. Huh. Yeah. And again, when you have a truck that's as successful as the unloved truck, like, man, it's hard to go into the one that would be giving you fits.
Yeah. The other truck, I mean, I've always said I just want to drive it on the street and take it to car shows and stuff like that, but I haven't made it work yet. So
well, you can get in this one and drive it anywhere too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the other struggle. So yeah, a lot of really cool adventures. I'm jealous you get to do it with your dad, man. That's really, really cool. And your dad's one of the coolest folks that we've ever met. He's awesome, and to get in there and do all this with you is pretty neat.
Yeah, it's pretty special to have him there. Like I say before, he's got his notebook and he keeps down all the money we spend, all the stats, miles. So it's pretty special to have him with me.
That's awesome.
You said you got two other trucks besides those two as well?
Yeah, I've got two other Chevy Loves. One of them, they're both stock, other than one of them I pulled the 4-speed manual transmission out, put a 5-speed in it just for cruising. But that one I drive occasionally, and the other one, it runs, but it's not drivable. So it's kind of more a parts truck or a project truck down the road. So,
Gotcha.
So what you're saying is you have a type.
Yeah. Small trucks trucks in general seem to be the type, but.
Right. Well, I want to talk about your Rocky Mountain Race Week kind of experiences, because racing there 8 times. I mean, you're in the top echelon of racers for count for sure. There's like just a handful of you guys that have raced that many. But one thing I found pretty interesting, you've raced in 14.0, 12.0, 11.0, 10.0, 9.0 indexes, and Ultimate Radio, I think is what he calls it. So what do you I don't know how I want to ask this, but picking the index classes, to me, I like that stuff because it's so hard to race in that. You're going to make more passes. You're going to do all that kind of stuff. But what drives you to race in those classes?
I think the main thing is just it doesn't matter what vehicle you have, you're going to fit in somewhere, with an index class. And like we had, I don't remember what year it was, but the truck was only running about a 12-second. And a week before Rocky Mountain Race Week, driving to Tulsa Raceway Park just for a test and tune, one last test, it threw a rod going down the highway. And so we just threw a stock 350 in it just so we could make the race. And I want to say it ran like 15s. And so but we could jump in the 14.0 class and still at least be there to compete. But, and I kind of get, you made the point about having to make a lot more passes with an index class. And sometimes I get kind of burned out on that. So that's why I'll jump to a different class where, we can just run the truck all out and hit the road if we want to. Whereas if you're doing well in the index, you kind of got to be there the whole time and late nights and whatnot.
Well, and that's one thing about Rocky Mountain stuff too, is like, that is the struggle. Like you may be leading the class, but it may be by 0.01 on an average, and somebody can knock it out in a second,
Yeah, you can go from hero to zero really quick in an index class.
Yep. Well, I see Lance Walker in here making comments. So let's just go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. I would love, and this was brought to my attention by Red Hat Scotty and Jonathan Stonecipher and those guys, and you know how bad of peer pressure and bad influence they are. So they are suggesting that maybe you and Lance run the inaugural first race at the circuit, which for everybody that doesn't know, that's a big deal in our world. We gamble on that. We raise donations for the charity of the year, all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of trash talk around that. So I want to pit this to you. Would you want to race Lance off the trailer, first pass down the track at the circuit 2025?
I'd be honored to.
Yes.
So Lance has got an S10, and I think that S10's older brother's going to give him all he wants.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, dude, I appreciate that. I'm excited about that. And for folks that don't know, this is a big deal. Like last year we had Red Hat Scotty and Keaton Maxon race, and man, those dudes know how to trash talk big time. Lance was at a private testing a couple weeks ago. That truck does wheelies. Your truck does wheelies. This should be, and the ETs are going to be real close. I feel like they'll be real close anyway. So be a great race.
Yeah, as far as right now, he and I we're running about the same time. So
yeah,
and I know he's made some upgrades to his truck, so that'll make a big difference too.
Yeah, well, if y'all end up at the same test and tune at Tulsa, I need to know. We need to
all right.
We need to see some of this early on stuff. So are you doing Mega Week?
I am, yeah.
Oh man.
So we're gonna sign up for the A group. And like I said, my he's already got hotels booked and everything. So as soon as registration opens, we'll be signing up for it. And they just, they're going to have the tailgate class this year. So I'm going to sign up for that. And the tailgate class is kind of like the dial your own, where your first time slip you turn in, that's your ET you're trying to hit for the rest of the week to make it fair for all the tailgate participants.
Oh, I don't guess I read that. That's awesome. Huh. I like that idea. I didn't even think about that for the tailgate stuff. I guess I didn't read that close enough.
Yeah, I just read it. I think it was today. I was looking to see what I was going to sign up for, and that's what I read it was going to be your first time slip. That's what you're trying to shoot for.
That's awesome. Yeah, that'll be cool. I'm excited to see some DYO stuff kind of creep into some of the other Dragon drives as well.
That's the pro DYO at Sick Week. That's what we're going to be signed up for this year too. So that'll kind of give us an idea of how close we can keep our average.
Yep. Interesting.
So with Mega Week doing Group A, it's going to be morning racing. Is that going to be different for you compared to what you're used to with Rocky Mountain?
Yeah, I mean, typically Race Week and Rocky Mountain Race Week, we race in the evening time, and sick week is in the morning time. So, we've done enough of each that I don't think it's going to affect us one way or another. I feel like it's going to give us an advantage where if we have an issue at the track, at least you're going to have that second group coming in that maybe, you can find more support or a part you need or whatnot, instead of being on the road and everybody's already ahead of you.
Right. So being that you've done both the day and the nights, which one do you like better?
I think I actually like racing at night better because you always have that sense of, if you don't have a good pass, the weather's just going to get cooler. Again, the track's going to get better. You can kind of always count on that for the most part. But I really, it doesn't really bother me either way.
Yeah.
That is an interesting thing that, we've talked about that a little bit in the past of the, like really fast guys like you that are in these groups, like racing at night, the weather does get better. The air gets cooler. It gets, denser and all that kind of stuff. And it's completely opposite at like sick week. You may
Right.
race in the morning at 75 degrees and great altitude, but at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it is not any of that.
Yeah, that's the tough part with racing in the morning is, if your first pass isn't what you want, it's more of a struggle to make up, to get that pass you do want. And then, the longer you stay at the track, the longer your day is going to be from there on. So
That's right. Well, let's switch up. Let's talk about sick week because it's coming up obviously in a couple, 10 days here, maybe, well, no more than that yet. 18 days. So when will you guys leave? What's your travel look like?
So I mapped it and it's roughly 14 hours, about 1,000 miles. So I think we're going to leave sometime on Saturday just because I want to be, we've got the time the weekend. So I'd rather just be there a little early and, we can hang out in the box if we get there earlier, whatever on Sunday. But yeah, I think that's the plan is to drive part of the way on Saturday, pull over somewhere, and then have an easy Sunday to finish it off and get there. The nice thing is, since it's starting in South Georgia this year, that's for most people, it's going to make their drive a lot shorter. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, that'll save some folks like 300 miles. So
Yeah.
Those guys coming from Michigan and Ohio are really appreciative of that.
Yeah.
What is it that you like about sick week?
A few things. I mean, we're in the middle of winter here, and it's been 2 months since I've been to the track, so I'm ready to get back to the track. The weather's warmer, and just all those tracks down there are awesome tracks, and so and then the route, cruising down the coast. I mean, it's just there's a lot of things, and it's the Super Bowl of drag and drive. It's the who's who of drag and drive. So it's like it's got a lot of good things going for it.
Yeah.
In 22, I rode with Justin Chestnut in the Model A, and like, man, just being like cruising along the coast, that was awesome. It was a little rainy that day, but like we're like literally right there at the ocean. It was pretty neat.
Yeah.
I've seen plenty of pictures of people actually driving down on the beach too, which is super cool. Yeah, a lot of people here saying the same thing. It's the weather. It's the time of the year, the weather. Wherever you're at, the weather's going to be better there than wherever you are.
Exactly.
Well, and especially for guys like Eric who are, it probably hadn't been above 30 degrees at his place in a month.
Yeah. This year's been weird. It'll actually be 40 either this weekend or next weekend, which is really strange. But yeah, most of the time we're like in that -10, -20 degrees right now.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah.
People live in that.
Unloved has cruised both east and west coast.
It has. It's been to both. I don't know which one I'd say probably the East Coast I like better. I mean, it was cool to go through the mountains and stuff, but I tend to like to go back to the East Coast every year.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, it comes down to it's cold here, and I think that's why sick week works so well. is it's cold. Nobody's raced in months. Everybody's been cooped up either in their house or in their garage trying to get stuff ready. And like a lot of times, folks' stuff is fresh. They've got fresh parts and pieces. And I want to talk about some maintenance after we kind of get through the sick week stuff and how you keep that truck going.
All right.
And you said you're doing what, like the pro DYO class for sick week?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Last year we averaged, I believe, at 896. I didn't keep track of the pro DYO last year, but I know our quickest pass was the 890, and our slowest was a 9 flat or 9.0, which I'm sure that's probably not enough to win the pro DYO. But I mean, if we can go and improve on last year's average, then I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think Gabby Luan won it last year with like something crazy, like a 020 spread, just insane. But yeah, I mean, I would think if you're less than a tenth across 5 days of racing in tracks that you only see one time a year, like think about that. You race at Gainesville one day in 2024.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Gainesville is where I've set all my PBs at. It's my first 9 was at Gainesville, and my highest mile per hour was there. It seems like every year we go to Gainesville, we set a new PB. So it's kind of one of my favorite tracks.
I didn't even know that, but that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
What about goals for sick week this year? You kind of mentioned, improving on what you did last year. Anything else?
So mainly just I want to set a new PB. I want to go right now. My quickest pass ever was sick week last year with an 890, and so if I can go in 880s, I'd be super happy. I think the first pass will. I know we're already running more boost than we were last year, so I think if we just leave the tune that we have in it, I think it will do it. But if we can just try for the first pass, because it seems like every event, the first day is the quickest pass, and then each day after it slows down just a little bit for us. So I think the first day is our best shot, and we'll try to PB and then just cruise the rest of the week and have a good time.
So that's the question. Do you use your PB as your base for your pro DYO? Like, because for folks that don't understand, like you're not so in index racing, you're looking for your closest index, obviously, to like 9.0, right? And your average is close to 9.0 for the week. But in pro DYO, if you run like an 895, you're trying to get as close to an 895 or 885 for the rest of the week.
Well, that just shows you I've only been thinking about PBs and not trying to average the whole week. So
I knew I liked you.
Yeah. Like I said, my intent isn't try to win. So it's just run as fast as we can and take whatever it gives us. That's
do it for the adventure.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, man, how many events do you have planned for 2025?
Not as many this year. We're doing sick week, circuit, mega week, King of the Open Road. I'm gonna try to get into 6 Smokies. I think that'll be cool because we haven't done a whole lot of racing in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd like to try to go to just FL2K. I've always liked that race. Like to try to get into that. I've still got some vacation time to burn, so we'll try to figure out some more regional events that we can fill it up with. But that's kind of all I have on my calendar for now.
Wow. So I do want to talk about that for a second because you raced, was it King of the Open Road, and then drove home, and like the next week went back for Death Week. How did that work out?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. We drove out to Tucson for King of the Open Road, and it just being a regional 3-day event. Then we turned around and came home. And I can't remember if it was, I think we had 1 weekend home, and then we turned around and drove back to Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona, for the start of Death Week.
Yeah.
And then that was a 9-day event, and then headed home after that. So we put a lot of miles on the box on that month.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's crazy, man. That's so cool.
we had talked about trying to find a place to store the truck and trailer down there, and but while we were down there, we found some cracks in the hitch, and so some other things that we're like, we did take this thing home and go over it and make sure it's good before Death Week's being such a long event. So we trailered it all the way out there and trailered it all the way back.
Well, that's one thing you're not scared of doing.
No.
Another story that comes to mind is the Kearney back home. No, yeah, Kearney.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
For
Kearney.
Rocky Mountain. Yeah. Tell that story, because that's a cool one too.
So we went to Kearney for Rocky Mountain Race Week. I can't remember if it was 22 or 23. I think it was 23. And we had just put a brand new 4L80 transmission. Said it was built for 1,500 horsepower, which my truck only makes 748 on the dyno. And so made one pass in the heat, and so we were happy with it, but we're like, well, it's going to cool off. Let's just wait and make one more pass, and when it cools off, and made that pass. When I did the 1-2 shift, it broke the input shaft, and
see,
so
it didn't make enough power. That was the
yeah. And I could have probably found another stock input shaft and put in it, but I didn't want to go. That was only the second pass. I didn't want to keep doing that. So
yeah,
we took the truck all the way home and ordered a hardened one and pulled the transmission out and waited for it to come in and put it in, and then drove back up to Kearney for the final day. And the cool thing is that Rocky Mountain Race Week they have an exhibition class where if you break your stuff during the week and you fix it, you can come back and enter the exhibition class. So that's what we did, and we won the exhibition class. So that was pretty cool.
Right. That's one of my favorite stories, man, because I drove up that Friday, and like you guys had just gotten there, and I was like, wait, I thought y'all broke, and you're like, oh yeah, we went home and fixed it.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy. Yeah. That's pretty wild. Well, let's talk about maintenance real quick as we kind of wind down here. Like, how do you keep that truck in that kind of shape to do, like this year we're looking at 5 or 6 events, several thousand street miles. Like, how do you keep that truck maintained?
Thankfully, this truck is low maintenance. This is going on its 4th year. The engine has never been out. The heads have never been off of it. It's just worked. I changed the oil, every event, and that's about it. Like,
Wow.
I really
who did the engine build on it?
I did. It's just a stock bottom end 5.3. I bought the core for $300, gapped the rings, put a Texas Speed cam in it, and it's been living. And me, I'm pretty conservative on my changes. So, it's been the same truck the whole time. It's just, I've just slowly worked up to what it is now. It's just,
wow.
It really hasn't given us any problems.
Yeah, Rodney here saying, you're talking about 748 horsepower and how much does that truck weigh?
So last race week, I think it was at Texas, I weighed it, and with me in it, it was 3,005 pounds. So
wow, damn, that's awesome.
It's truck's kind of we put more and more things in it, like carpet, just to fit some of the other classes that like the True Street type stuff and things like that. So it's slowly gained a few pounds, but it's still pretty light.
Yeah, I mean that's a heck of a street truck too. 3,000 pounds with you in it, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, any fresh or new pieces in the truck for before Sick Week?
Yeah, we've got a couple of things. I bought a Motion Rakes Works operator shifter, and I'm gonna put it on air shift. I've always shifted the truck myself, and had a kind of incident at a 666 where I'm going down the track and I'm looking at my tachometer, and instead of looking down the track, to hit my shift point, and I drifted out of the groove. The truck got a little sideways, so it's like, yeah, it's time to put it on an air shifter, and that way I can just drive.
And not worry about it. Yeah, that's pretty
cool. Yeah. So I won't have to look at the tack anymore, and just it'll be a little bit more enjoyable, I guess. But that's kind of the main thing I've been working on now, is just getting that all installed, and then the engine fan just recently quit working, so I'm gonna have to get that figured out before sick week. But other than that, it's all the same.
So with it on air, will you run it with CO2?
Yeah, I've got CO2 for my boost controller, so we just teed into it. And
yeah, that's what I was going to ask, if those also run your boost control and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
What about prepping for your trailer? What kind of stuff do you make sure you got in your trailer as far as parts and pieces?
It seems like every event we take more and more out of it, just because we realize we're carrying a bunch of stuff we don't need. But the main things, I like to keep just a starter and alternator, because if they quit, you're sitting unless somebody else has got one. I've just got a couple of spare plug wires. I've got a set of spark plugs, just a few exhaust manifold gaskets, turbo gaskets, just things like that.
I thought about those. That's a good one.
But there's our spares box is kind of it's pretty light. We've got a fuel cell. That's the main thing. We just carry an E85. We've got a 21-gallon fuel cell inside the trailer, and then a full toolbox of tools. But
how big of a tank you said?
20 it's gallon? 21. Yeah.
Damn, you can go anywhere, dude.
Yeah. Well, even times we get pretty low on the E85, but it's worked out every time where we've never been without. So
yeah, that's pretty interesting. So just pump E, or do you put good stuff in the truck to race? And then
I've done both ways, and I really don't see a difference. So most of the time it's just pump E, just to save some money.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Interesting. Sorry, I feel like I'm over here making notes as we're talking. I don't know if we've said it in the past, but you guys can follow all the build and all the adventures that he has on Unlovable on Facebook. You've done a great job posting over there. I mean, I think that's why, we awarded you one year with the Dragon Drive Ambassador Award, because you did so many. You built this whole Facebook page and truck and post over there all the time. It's been pretty awesome to see all that come about too.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that's what when I built the new truck, that's the thing, is I had the unloved names, because it's more a lot of content about unloved, but it's just I didn't know whether to add it or just leave it off or start a new page, fresh. But I've just kept it. And
yeah, I think it makes sense, and it already had a pretty good following, and it's growing all the time, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm pulling it up here real quick. Yeah, dude, 1,500 followers. Come on, all the cool photos. That's where I pulled all the photos that we were rolling through earlier. That's where I got a lot of those.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest benefits to keeping that kind of stuff, is we almost use Facebook as like a photo server anymore to keep all the stuff that we are trying to find all the time. Well, what's some stuff we've missed, man? What haven't we talked about?
I don't know. It's just one new thing that's big for me is I've never had a garage to work out of. It's always been out in the driveway on my back, in the heat, in the cold, whatever it was. And so now I've got a new house in Tulsa that I'm living in, and the week before sick week, they'll be coming out to build a 30 by 40 shop on my property. So that'll be
you're not going to know what to do with yourself.
I know.
It's going to be love trucks.
Yeah, and maybe some other projects that will finally get built.
Yeah, that's the struggle, man. Now you'll have so much more room for activities.
Yeah, I've talked about my Chevelle before. I've had it since I was 14, and I'd love to take it on a drag and drive and actually have a little more room in the cab. And that'll be something different.
Yeah, a back seat or an area that you can do something more with your elbow.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, because you're elbow to elbow in the truck. So
I
Oh,
bet.
yeah, that's tight, man. That's pretty cool.
So
Well, listen, dude,
we're gonna call that the unlovable garage then.
mhm.
I don't know. I hadn't even thought about a name for it.
Can we get a housewarming party or a shop warming party though, man? Like, I'm in on that. I'll bring some. I don't have any tools that you probably don't already own, but I'll bring some beers.
Well, the route normally goes within about a quarter mile of my place, so maybe we can
Perfect.
work that out.
Let's do it. I'm in. I'm in. That's pretty cool. All right. Well, listen, dude. I want to say thanks for coming on tonight. I appreciate your knowledgeable and the trucks are super cool and all the stuff you do, man. I mean, just thinking about thousands of miles of driving that stuff this year is just something a lot of folks don't do if they have cool hot rods. They just don't drive 8,000 miles a year. But you're not
Yeah.
scared.
No, I remember my first one, man. It was a pretty anxious moment, leaving the truck and trailer, and now it's like no big deal. It's like this. That's what even if we break down in the box truck going down there, it's like I know that we can just unload the truck and drive it the rest of the way to the event if we had to. So it's like
Yeah.
not a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah, we're short on time. Offload the truck. Let's go.
Yeah.
26 events. How many miles do you think you've put on? Obviously, the couple different trucks that you've raced.
I know I'm just short of 20,000 on unloved. I want to say Unlovable has about 16,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Man, it's awesome.
They're talking 36,000 miles between the two trucks just
Yeah.
on drag and drives.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Right?
Yeah. Rodney here saying the Love Shack.
There you go.
I think that needs to be that. Listen, if we end up with a shop warming party, we'll come again.
Yeah.
Man, that's awesome. All right, sir. Well, again, I'll see you in a couple weeks, man. I'm excited.
You bet.
If you're cool with it, Dustyn's never afraid for me to put a camera in his face and talk about some of the stuff that he's got. If you guys want to watch some of the videos that we've put together at his truck, jump over on the YouTube channel. I think they mainly live there. And man, I just appreciate your openness, dude. It's pretty cool to hang out.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys supporting me. So
Yeah.
thank you.
I'm excited to see you in a couple weeks. And even though you're trying to run for PBs, man, good luck at with Pro DYO.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks.
See ya.
Dude, how fun, man. I'm telling you, I really like that guy. He is, a big supporter of anything I've ever done. He's been a long time circuit racer. Before that, we had the streetcar shootout. He'd come to that stuff. I mean, he's been around a long time. We really appreciate that. He's at Tulsa Raceway Park a bunch too, which you guys know it's another home of mine.
Yeah.
Of stuff that I do there as well.
And just the two trucks are cool, especially when you get to see them both together.
Yeah,
they
I mean,
were both on the circuit, and that was
Yeah.
cool to see both of them.
Well, and just that shot Chris Story took. I mean,
Right.
that's cool. To have those kind of memories. I mean, his brother racing it, dad co-pilot, like that's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So appreciate him coming on tonight. Again, we had a guest that was going to be here, and then luckily Dustyn is super cool and jumped on us. So I appreciate him. He's always ready to talk stories, and dude, he's got 26 events, man. It's crazy. I think we need to just probably put him on a whole 2-hour podcast and just have him like go through the history. Because I mean, think about what he's seen. He talked about 2017 Drag Week. At that point, there were literally Rocky Mountain Race Week and Drag Week. That was it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one guy's garage, but that's it. Crazy to me to think about all the cool stuff and cool people he's met over the years. That's one thing that's really neat about Drag and Drive is the race car friends and family you end up with here. But listen, we're going to start wrapping up here. The episode 95 is going to be another good one. We've got Derek Putnam on, the first guest on the show. He's going to be on talking about Sick Week 2025 and some Sick Week historical stuff. He's as big of a nerd as I am when it comes to stats and stuff. So we're really going to kind of lean into that. Him and I are already talking about plans and what to go over and what to cover and all the fun stuff that comes from nearly 1,000 people racing at Sick Week. And Sick Week 25 will be the fourth running of it, so we're gonna have a ton of cool content to leading into that. And then the man, Mr. Rovic, is gonna be on here. We're gonna talk Oldsmobile, big block Oldsmobiles on nitrous, running nines in 5,000-pound 60s Oldsmobile cars. Like, I don't know if it gets cooler than that. And we're going to talk about how many sets of tires Rovic has gone through. I'm making that note right now because that's the question.
You literally took that. That was exactly what I was gonna say next. So glad we're
Yeah.
on the same page on that one.
Because he's not scared to do a burnout. Not at
No. No, I remember on Sixth Summer, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll just gonna do a little one. I don't want to, I don't want to tear up these tires." And he goes out there and lays down this huge
Yeah.
burnout, and I was like, "Little, huh?"
Well, there was one night he was at some event or at some drag and drive, and then like completely demolished a set of tires. Like I think even popped one and had to like use someone's spare or someone's front runner. That's right, someone's front runner from their trailer to get over to get to a tire shop the next morning. So bring it on! I can't wait. He's in here making comments, man. I can't wait to hang out with him. He's one of the busiest guys, and he is going to be super busy. Hopefully this weekend, dynoing the new engine for the car. It's at Bill Trotter's place. Man, it's going to be a wild setup. NHRA stopped Bloomberg saying we need a live burnout on the show. His car's not running, man. It's not running.
He said, "What's a burnout?"
Yeah. Yeah, don't be a burnout, do a burnout. That's what he says all the time. So, all right, Eric, lead us out, and we'll talk to Dustyn Caudle backstage for another 30 minutes.
All right. Well, again, thank you guys for another great show. All of you guys are race car friends for tuning in. Again, you guys keep us going each week, writing notes, preparing for the shows, articles, photos, all that great stuff. You guys are what keep us going. And of course, our sponsors. We can't do this without all of those guys. Summit Racing, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Car Chains 3D, WAF Racing, Performabuilt Transmissions, J-Wire Solutions, Howard's Cam, Sweet Patina, PowerTube TV, and Racing Junk. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you on the next episode.
Awesome. Well, hey, real quick, Rovic said it's Chris from WAF Racing's Front Tires, and then also Rich Guido, Front Tires during Death Week.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's going to be awesome. All right, guys, thanks a bunch. See you soon.
See ya.